Today, I want to talk about overanalyzation, the risk of, and what it really entails. So, overanalyzation, what does it really mean? To analyze is to, from data and informatics point of view, critically assess an information or a set group of data given to you, and to examine what the worth is, how it can be used to better understand the situation, or what to execute in the next delivery of plans based on the analysis. So what does it mean to overanalyze? It means to do it in excess. Basically, it means to analyze so much that what you're concluding is not useful. That is the gist of overanalyzing. Because no matter what type of hours you spend on the information or what type of calculation you use in the analysis, if it is useful, it is not determined as overanalyzing. It would be simply put as analyzing, not overanalyzing. So why is it so dangerous to overanalyze? Basically, you have accumulated enough hours, enough thoughts, and somewhere along the line, you either sped up too much or slowed down too much. And you're using excess amount of hours or mind set. Something is not being effective here. Then it is determined as overanalyzing. It is not the set amount of hours. For example, if you analyze for more than 10 hours within 2 days, it is considered overanalyzing. No, it is not like that. And you might be analyzing in different ways. Sometimes you might be taking a walk, just letting the ponder come upon you, and let the epiphanies hit, and then you go, oh, that's a note I should take down. And you write it. You write it somewhere so that you remember as bullet points, bullet lists, or brainstorm clusters, whatever it may be. And you might be doing that for 8 hours in one day. And maybe that's your main job, to analyze and consult. And that would not become overanalyzing or overanalyzation. But another person analyzes for maybe 3-4 hours per day. And every hour, it may be intensity, it may not be intense. For example, if it is intensity, just writing hundreds of things down, the mind is sped up, the information is not useful because the mind is not accumulating enough brain energy source in between the rest, because you're not allowing the brain to kind of relax and be in its best condition. Then no matter how many notes you write down, how many sentences of analyzed thoughts you write down as sentences and paragraphs, those are not useful. And another example, if it is actually the opposite of intensity, maybe you are very slowed down. You're taking, let's say, 3-4 hours, right? And every 30 minutes you go, oh, maybe that's it? You write it down. You're not sure if it's true or not. You don't fact check, and then you just kind of start pondering again, kind of going in loops of what it is that you should be trying to pinpoint. Then either way, intensity or not intense, this person, whoever is doing this, is not being effective. So it is overanalyzing. So the term overanalyzing isn't characterized by one type of characterization or characteristics, features of a person. It can be time, slowed up, sped up, thoughts, unaccumulated, overaccumulated, understanding of the calculations of how those bits of information work together as a whole, not being well understood, not being fact checked. Whatever the details are, overanalyzation is the gist, the main point must be understood as you're producing information that is not useful as a conclusion of whatever you're analyzing. So what can we do to make sure our thoughts are not overanalyzations but actual analysis? And this is where I'd like to implement practicality. 1, you're hydrated, your brain is working well. 2, you did not excessively speed up your brain with fast tempo songs, super hyped up, over exciting songs. Maybe you've listened to them, a playlist that is all hyped up, fast tempoed songs for 3 hours straight before you started the analyzation work. Then of course it's not going to be effective. Or you were slowing down your brain with all classical, mellow, melancholic songs and compositions, and your brain is tired from it. It's gotten too emotional because your melancholy basically means you're kind of reminiscing and the sorrowful emotions that you acquire from recalling or remembering your past. So it's very heavy on the emotions. So what happens here is that you have to be willing to fact check your own health, as in your spiritual state, your brain energy condition, your physical condition, and your general condition. Physical condition as in if you have joint pain, when you move around or when you sit down, do you have neck pain? And when I say more general condition, I'm talking about like how your organs are. Like maybe you have a stomachache, chronic migraine. So I guess I'm saying physical. When I say physical, I'm talking about structural medical. And when I say general, I'm talking about more of the immune system, the organs, the inner medical, but internal medicine type of medical. You have to be willing to fact check all these things and be realistic about it. And I think one of the things that is the hardest about being humans, I've personally noticed, is fact checking yourself. It is so much easier to fact check other people. And that actually goes with the analysis or works of analyzing things, informations. Because you can believe that you fact checked objectively, but if your tool, which means your own brain, your own condition, is out of tune, then there's no way of knowing if you deciding that these analysis, these information are actually useful, has any value or not. If you're not willing to fact check, first and foremost, if your brain has any value in working as an analyzing tool right now, then you're lying to yourself saying, I'm actually unsure if my brain is working well, but I'm just going to call it and say these information are valuable. It is like going through a bill check machine or device, one of those that you flaps all those tons of bills that you can just put in it, and then it counts all the numbers and gives you the total amount, or the ones that literally check if the bill is authentic at all or not when it comes to larger bills. Let's say the device is maybe possibly out of tune, and nobody, no mechanics, no technician has checked it recently. Maybe 1 to 2 years, nobody has checked it. And you give it to the teller or whoever it is, the banker, teller, or maybe it's at some other venue or facility. And the bill was checked, and the person goes, yes, this is authentic. Whoever gave this to you, they gave you an authentic bill. And you go, oh, thanks. So you just thank the person, but you have not acquired any new information, because the device that checked that it is authentic is not authentically double checked if it is in working condition or not. So that's where I want to get to when we say the word overanalyzation. It basically means the analysis is not useful. And the reason is most likely because whoever is deciding that it is useful or not has not checked his or her own condition. If the checker is in fact validated as so, and also in this case, you would be checking with other humans too. You wouldn't just be saying, oh, I'm confident, that's why I know I'm okay. That would not be valid. But if you did validate yourself in a factual, certified way, methods, then you double checking the information and you analyzing it with your own disciplined ways would definitely validate the information itself as well as useful. So I just wanted to get to the part that the word overanalyzation, the over doesn't mean something, one aspect of it is in excess. It means basically the analyzation, the analyzed information, the conclusion of it is not useful. And I want to say this applies to health as well, because you can fact check your own mind and you can say, I'm a sturdy person. I have good health. I have good spiritual health, mental health, emotional health, and physical health. Let's say you said that to yourself, but you're overconfident. You have not checked with other people that you can validate by seeing their ways, seeing their outputs, and how they seem to work through things that, oh, that person indeed is healthy. Maybe the person has human flaws, because of course we're all humans, we have flaws. But I can see that through the flaws, the person is healthy, and others agree so, and the person herself agrees so. It seems to be very much validated by fact, by appearance, by results, by medical checkups. Then you can most likely say there's greater than 85% chance that the person is factually healthy, even with the flaws, because there are no human beings who have no flaws. So basically, we want to make sure that we become our own checker. And then upon being so, we're not going to forget that we have to check with other people. Because if we're realistically living our ways, we would be checking with other people. And that's vital to our health. You can be a health freak, a self-acclaimed health freak, and you overwork every day. You're saying, well, I'm healthy because I work out. Let's say you've overworked physically, hour-wise, and amount of effort-wise. 40%, you're overworking every day. Your cardiovascular system is going to fail from deterioration, from exhaustion, fatigue. But until you collapse, you're going to say, oh, I'm a healthy person.